Yeah. Oh, send her in.
The London tabloids are positively tame compared to this piece of rubbish I found that calls itself a newspaper. If they think they're getting away with this, they've got another thought coming.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to storm in here like this.
No, you don't have to apologize. I mean, you haven't been here all that long. But if you ask any of the staff, you'll find out that I'm available to all of them, even though a storm does blow in every once in a while.
I was passing a newsstand, and I saw that. The headline positively screamed out at me.
Yes, yeah, it caught my eye, too, but I learned a long time ago to just ignore the intruder.
Ignore them? I'd like to sue the scoundrels. But first of all, I'd like to know what your married son's intentions are towards my daughter. From the look of this picture, he had more than a casual lunch on his mind.
I wanted to talk to you.
Brenda, please, not now.
No, I know that it was very tough in there for you, but this is important. I need to know if you...
I need to know what? Mr. Russell just embarrassed and humiliated me. Would you please leave me alone?
Yes, and I know he had every right to if what he accused you of is true, Michael.
Well, you don't believe me? You want to know if I actually did try and kill Gabrielle? That's it.
When John asked you if you had tried to kill her, you said no, and that's all right with me, but it is you and I here right now, and I need to know the truth.
Well, I said all I'm going to say about this on the stand, so if you would just please excuse me.
No, you just wait a minute right now, Michael. You have permission to come to my house and spend time with my son, and I want to know if I made a mistake in doing that. Should I have turned you away? Michael, you gotta tell me. Are you capable of murder?
I take it from your dramatic entrance that you are Mr. Callison's hostile witness.
I'm Max Holden.
Your Honor, in light of the witness appearance...
I'm way ahead of you, Counselor. Cancel my bench warrant for Mr. Holden's arrest. You may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, sir.
Take the stand, Mr. Holden.
John, why did Herb call him in to testify? What does he want from him?
We're going to find out soon enough.
Hope you got. I do. Please be seated.
Here's what you do when you don't find the rainbows in this time. Here's where you go when it looks like the rain won't end. Don't cry. I'll give you tomorrow. Let me be the one to share it with. And each day that follows, 'cause we only have one night to live.
Would you tell this court when you first met the defendant, Gabrielle Medina?
A few years ago.
Be a little more specific.
I can't remember the exact date.
Well, I'm not interested in exact date.
Then what are you interested in?
Oh, circumstances, events, first impressions.
First impression?
Yes. I mean, what did you think of Gabrielle Medina when you met her? What was she like?
Why would that be important to you?
Mr. Holden, we don't have time for your games. I suggest that you start from the top. This time, a little more cooperation from you, please, Mr. Holden. Mr. Callison?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Holden, you met Gabrielle Medina for the first time.
Minutes outside?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you want to be here for Gabrielle, but this is something I think you ought to see.
Buenos Aires to see my fortune. I met a man by the name of Don Alonso. We became friends. He had a ranch not far outside of Buenos Aires. Dante Medina's ranch was the next one over.
Dante Medina was the defendant's father.
Yes. Gabrielle was out riding one day. That's how we met.
Objection, Your Honor. Miss Medina's past relationship with Mr. Holden really doesn't have any bearing on this case.
Well, Your Honor, if I may be allowed to finish my questions, the importance of Mr. Holden's testimony will be obvious.
I'll allow it for now, Mr. Russell.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Holden, were you attracted to Miss Medina?
Yes.
You began to spend a great deal of time with her?
Yes.
How attracted were you?
We had an affair, if that's what you're trying to get at.
Yes, and as a result of that affair, Miss Medina became pregnant, isn't that correct?
Yes, she did.
So, of course, you made plans to marry her.
No.
Why not?
Don Alonzo had said he would sell me his ranch. I returned to America to try to find financing to make the purchase.
And you left Gabrielle here?
I told her I'd be back.
To be with her?
Not in those exact words.
Well, no, but I mean, that was what your intention was. Well, Mr. Holden, you did tell Gabrielle that you loved her, didn't you?
Answer the question, Mr. Holden.
No, I didn't.
You... Well, wait a minute, how did she react to that?
What do you mean?
I mean, was the defendant upset when she realized you didn't love her? Was she demanding, needful of your love?
No.
She didn't fight for your love, for your commitment? Did she tell you that she couldn't go on living without you?
No, she did not.
Do you mean to tell me that you didn't feel compelled to marry her, to take responsibility for your child?
I didn't know she was pregnant.
Oh, she didn't tell you?
No.
Well, if you had known, would it have made a difference?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, no, Mr. Holden. If you had known that Gabrielle Medina was carrying your child, would you have given her your love? Would you have asked her to marry you?
Youngest member of Buchanan clan woos baby switcher's sister. Oh, I don't see what's so amusing about it, honestly. I mean, that insinuates that your son is having trouble with his marriage and that...
Julia, that's the way the Intruder operates. That's the way they sell newspapers. Now, you said yourself it's trash. Don't get all worked up over it. There's a good picture of him, though, isn't it? That's Barry's Barn Grill.
Oh, come along, be serious. This could have a terrible effect on Gabrielle's trial. The last thing she needs right now is to have her sister involved in a scandal. Well, I don't expect your family are too thrilled either.
Well, it doesn't make any difference whether they're thrilled or not. The best thing to do is just ignore it. Now, if you calm down and think about it, you'll agree with me.
I suppose you're right. Only give credence to all their allegations. Is there any truth in it? Is Cord having trouble with his marriage?
Well, Cord and Tina are having kind of a hard go of it right now, but I know my son. He's a fine, upstanding, honorable young fella. He's not about to take advantage of your daughter.
No, I'm sure he's not. It just doesn't look very good, does it?
What? Looks to me like they're having a nice, friendly lunch. The Intruder made a big, ugly headline, that's all.
If I ever write a headline like that, please remind me it can hurt people's feelings.
You can bet on it, and I'll pass it on to Cord, too. He's going to be taking over for me for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to leave town. I got to take care of some personal business.
I see. Well, where will you be going?
I have got to know. Did you try and kill Gabrielle?
We were to be so happy. Gabrielle, me, the baby. I was standing in the chapel right near the minister, and all my thoughts were about how my life was finally coming together. And all of a sudden, she's running out of the chapel. I go home, and she is standing there, holding the baby, and telling me that he's your baby. And she's going to return him to you. I was not thinking clearly. From that moment, I figured she was lying. I suddenly realized that she was probably still in love with Max. I knew that I had lost my parents, I had lost Alicia, now I was losing Gabrielle, and I knew that no matter what, I was not going to lose this baby. We were arguing, we were fighting. And all of a sudden, I was hitting her. I hands were around her throat.
Oh, God, Michael.
I wanted to kill her. I wanted to stop the lies. The hurt. I wanted to prevent the loss. But I couldn't do it. I haven't got it in me to take somebody else's life. I let her go. She slumped to the floor. I grabbed the baby and got out of there. You know the rest of the story.
When Max and I went to Grandview and found Gabrielle, I knew you were the one who tried to hurt her. But not until today do I realize how much you hate her.
My hatred for her will go with me to my grave. And no matter what happens in there, it won't be enough. Considering what she's done. She manages to bring out the darkest side of anybody she comes in touch with.
Including you.
Yes. And I despise her most for causing me to lose somebody that I love very deeply. And I'm now going to lose him again, aren't I? Because now that you know the truth, you're not going to let me see Stephen.
Running so fast, I don't even know how I feel. I am just trying to understand, Michael. I am trying to understand how Gabrielle can do what she did. I mean, how can a woman go and take another woman's baby away from her? I don't know, maybe she's telling the truth in there. Maybe she was temporarily insane or something.
No, she knew exactly what she was doing. She made a cold and calculated decision based on her needs. She was perfectly sane when she switched the babies.
Like you? When you tried to strangle her?
Not the same thing.
Why isn't it? I mean, you told me that you were angry and that you were upset and that your world was tumbling down around you and that you did things that you wouldn't do under normal circumstances. That's exactly what John said in there. Michael, he said that Gabrielle was so upset and so disturbed and desperate that she did something very desperate, like switching those babies.
No, he's doing his job. He's doing what he gets paid to do, getting his client off the hook.
No, I don't believe that. I think John is a very honest man and that he believes in what he's saying. And I think you and I better find something to believe in so that we can try and understand this and hopefully someday forgive Gabrielle for what she's done.
Maybe that's easy for you, Brenda. I mean, you have everything going for you now. You're in love. You have a bright and happy future ahead of you. You have your son. You've got it all. You've got nothing.
Michael, the world does some pretty horrible things to us, but we have to stand up and we have to face it.
Well, that's not so easy when you have to face it alone.
You're not alone. Stephen needs you, Michael. I care for you.
Then, you'll let me see him again? Even after what I've told you?
You let me come and see Stephen at Grandview when I needed him so bad, and that meant the world to me. And I'm going to do the same thing for you, okay?
I cannot thank you enough. It's very kind.
Michael, I just want you to promise me something. Listen to me. I want you to let go of this hatred that you feel for Gabrielle, because it is only going to hurt you.
I'm sorry, Brenda. I can't promise you that.
We're awaiting your answer, Mr. Holden.
It's not a simple yes or no answer, Your Honor. I mean, this happened a long time ago. How can I sit here now and say what I would have done if I had known Gabrielle was pregnant? Besides, what difference does it make? I didn't know, and I left. I mean, what's the point in going through it now? It's history. Why play what if with it?
He has a point, Counselor. Question is, do you?
Your Honor, I assure you that the relationship between Max Holden and the defendant is at the heart of this case.
Well, would you demonstrate that as quickly as possible, please, and stick to the facts?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Holden, what was your reaction when you eventually found out that Gabrielle Medina had given birth to your child?
Naturally, I was thrilled to have a son.
Were you thrilled for Gabrielle as well? Did you give her your love then?
Things were a little bit complicated at that point.
You mean you didn't ask her to marry you so as the two of you could raise your child together?
No.
Well, wait, now, that's what she wanted, isn't it?
Probably.
Probably?
Yeah, I guess so, yes.
You guess so? Well, tell me, I mean, how did she react when you refused to marry her? I mean, did she react unreasonably?
I didn't refuse to marry her.
Well, you just didn't want to, is that it?
Look, it wasn't a simple choice.
Well, either you did or you didn't. Either you loved her or you didn't, Mr. Holden. Which is it?
Your Honor, I have waited here patiently for the district attorney to show us what bearing any of these questions have on this case. So far, all he's done is badger the witness. Now, I fail to see where any of this is leading us.
Neither do I, Mr. Callison. Would you care to illuminate?
Yes, indeed I would, Your Honor. The defense claims that Gabrielle Medina's emotional instability was caused in part by the denial of Max Holden's love, that she was driven to desperation because of his rejection. But according to the witness, she never fought for his love. She barely expressed it. Your Honor, she never even told him that she was pregnant with his child. Now, I think it is extremely vital to this case to know just how much love exists between Max Holden and Gabrielle Medina.
That's something I'd like to know, too.
Where am I going? It's no big secret. I'm heading west, out to Arizona.
You've got a ranch out there, haven't you?
Yeah, I got a little spread out there. I found out there's a place out there called Old Arizona. It's supposed to be situated on the same place where Buchanan City used to be. I'm hoping that some of the original buildings are still standing.
Even Old Arizona, isn't that where Michael bought the theme park? That's where he took Brenda's baby.
Yeah.
You're telling me there was an actual city located there once?
Well, that's what I hope to find out. You see, my great-granddaddy, Buck Buchanan, founded Buchanan City. And I'm hoping that the owners have restored some of the original buildings.
Well, how will you be able to be sure if they have?
Pictures, photographs that were handed down to the family, through the years.
Well, it sounds like an exciting trip, but, I mean, you've got this scandalous trial going on, selling millions of copies of the banner. I don't know how you and Vicky can stand to leave now.
Well, Vicky's out of town right now, and I'm not sure exactly when she's going to be back. As for me, I'm sure that the banner can cover a trial by itself without me and hold things together while I'm gone.
So Vicky won't be going with you?
No, she has other things on her mind right now.
Sorry. No more personal questions. But if you ever do need a shoulder to lean on, please don't hesitate to ask me.
As a matter of fact, there is something you could do for me.
Anything I can do for you. You just name it.
Well, like I said, Vicky's out of town, and I'm not sure exactly when she's going to be coming back. We're having some problems, and I'm hoping that this time apart will straighten out our priorities and get us back on track again. In the meantime, I'd like you to give Cord as much support as you can. Tina's going to be coming back, and he's going to have his hands full at home.
He won't have to bear the burden alone.
Good. Good. You know, you've got quite a knack for this newspaper business. I'm sure Cord will appreciate all the help you can give him.
Then that's settled. Anything else?
Well, I guess all I got to do now is straighten out some of this paperwork and tidy up my desk.
Well, why don't you let me help you with that? I'm the one who threw you off schedule. Let me help you get back on.
All right, fine. All right, any of the stuff that's initialed goes in this stack right here.
Okay.
All right, that's for Mr. Briggs. The stuff that isn't initialed, I'm going to leave that for Cord to handle.
Okay.
All right? And that's it. All I got to do now is get some things out of the files I'm going to take with me.
I really envy you this trip, you know. It's always interesting going back and looking at your family tree. It's illuminating, sort of exciting.
Yes, I can't wait to go back again.
Mm.
I mean, you know, back to digging into the past.
Treading the paths your ancestors have trod, it'll almost be like walking along there with them.
Yeah, it will.
Oh, what a beautiful animal.
Oh, I take it you're talking about the horse.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Oki. He's a good horse. We've been through a lot together. You ride?
Yes. I love riding. I used to ride a lot when I was young. Perhaps we could go riding together someday.
Well, yes, maybe we could.
I imagine you look very handsome in chaps and boots and spurs and all that.
Well, I do the best I can with what I got. And it's chaps, not chaps. Chaps.
Is it?
Yeah,
Chaps.
chaps.
Right. Well, there you are, a perfectly tidy desk.
Well, now all I have to do is get my plane ticket and I should call Vicky first.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you call your wife and I'll get your plane ticket?
Would you mind?
No, not at all. Give me a chance to get acquainted with the people on the 4th floor. I'll be right back.
Spent enough time here, Brenda. You paid your dues, you testified. There's no reason for you to stick around. You got someone at home waiting for you, someone who loves you, someone who can make you forget all the bad memories that have been dredged up here.
Yeah, you're right. No matter what Gabrielle has done, and no matter what happens to her in there, I have a baby at home who needs me.
That's right.
So why don't we go home?
You got it.
Mr. Callison, you're not about to break into a verse of what is this thing called love, are you?
It's not a bad idea, Your Honor. But no. I realize that love means different things to different people. I'm extremely curious about the kind of love that supposedly drove the defendant into a moment of temporary insanity. I mean, what was it like? Did it even exist?
Well, the witness is over there, Mr. Callison. I suggest you ask him, which means that your objection is overruled, Mr. Russell. You can continue your line of questions.
Thank you, sir. If I may be allowed to backtrack just a moment, I want to make sure that I've got this right. Mr. Holden, the whole time that you were in Argentina with Gabrielle, you never told her that you loved her.
No, I did not.
Never asked her to marry.
No.
Still, she wasn't terribly upset about that. In fact, she took it so calmly that, well, she turned right around and married your brother, the late Steve Holden.
No, not right away.
But she married him. Now tell me, Mr. Holden, in your opinion, was Gabrielle Medina in love with your brother?
Objection, Your Honor. Having a relationship with the defendant does not make Mr. Holden an expert on her feelings.
I submit to you, sir, that Mr. Holden knows Gabrielle Medina better than anyone in the world and that he is indeed an expert on her feelings. Yeah. However, I will withdraw the question and ask another one. Mr. Holden, did a man attack your brother, Steve Holden, in Arizona, which resulted in serious head injuries?
Yes.
And was your brother in a coma as a result of that attack?
Yes, he
Now,
was.
did Gabrielle Medina stay by his side when he was transferred to the Landview Hospital?
Objection, Your Honor.
You know what? I'm just trying to determine the defendant's concern for Mr. Holden's brother.
Objection overruled.
She was concerned for my brother's progress and recovery.
I see. Now, there was some concern as to whether your brother would ever regain his consciousness. Isn't that true?
Yes, but he recovered.
No thanks to Miss Medina.
Objection. What are you suggesting, Mr. Callison, that the defendant was insensitive to her husband's condition?
Your Honor, the fact is that Mr. Holden can tell us just how insensitive she was. In fact, Mr. Holden can tell us that Miss Medina tried to kill Steve Holden while he was lying in a coma.
Objection. Mr. Holden, can you substantiate Mr. Callison's accusation?
Now, you realize that the Commonwealth can ask Detective Dave Johnson to fly in here from Arizona
No!
to substantiate my claim.
Who is Detective Johnson?
He was investigating the attack on Steve Holden, Your Honor. He spent a great deal of time here in Landview because he was concerned that the man who had attacked Steve Holden in Arizona might come here to find him and try to kill him. Well, Your Honor, in point of fact, Gabrielle Medina is the one who tried to end his life, isn't that true?
Objection. Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Holden.
There is no proof she tried to kill my brother.
But you suspected him, didn't you? Mr. Holden, isn't it true that you voiced your suspicions to Detective Dave Johnson and later to your brother and then to Brenda McGillis? Isn't that true?
Oh, well, hopefully after the recess, Herb will finish up quickly. You know, I used to think that he was a nice guy. Well, he's just doing his job, Meg. Yeah, at Max's expense. Did you see how upset he was? I wish the bailiff would at least let me talk to him. Say, do you think you're going to be able to change Max's mind about going on the retreat with me and Bo? No, he's not even going to consider it, Sarah. His life is just such a mess right now. Well, that's all the more reason to go on the retreat. No, I think that we're just going to have to bear with it here. You go without us, okay? Find someone else to go with. Okay. I got to get back, okay? You going to be okay? Yeah, sure. Good, because I think I need to go find Bo and have him put his arms around me and give me a big hug. Yeah, I could use a big hug right now. Come here. Okay. Okay, give me a call if you need me, will you? Yeah, I will. Andrew, I didn't know you were here. Yeah, I came to watch Max in action, you know. I try to understand him. See where he's coming from. I think he's coming from a lot of pain right now. Yeah, I noticed. He's trying real hard in there not to show it, but it must be tough on both of you. Yeah, it hasn't been easy. Look, I'm sorry I shot my mouth off to you in there. Hey, listen, I understand. I think I understand a little more now where you're coming from. Yeah, well, I'll see you around. Hey, Andy, look, I'm going back into the courthouse. Do you want to come with me? No, thanks. I think I've heard enough to realize what I've known all along. About what? Max is still Max. I feel sorry for any woman who ever loved him.
How dare they print these outrageous lies in this photograph? This tacky reporter turned an innocent situation into something smarmy.
Well, I suppose that's how the man makes a living.
Oh, well, that's an unfair way to make a living, and I think he deserves to be taught a lesson. So I'm going to go right over there and make him eat each and every one of his libelous words.
Whoa, wait. Hold on a second here, Tex.
Look, I'm furious about this, so don't try and stop me, Cord.
No, I realize that you're upset. In fact, I admire your spunk. But what libelous words are you going to make him eat, huh? The words about us being at Barry's Bar and Grill together?
Well, no, I mean, we were there.
That's right. Maybe you want to make him eat the words about us having lunch together. Or the fact that we had fun and we kind of laughed it up a little bit. Or maybe the fact that you got upset when he started asking all those prying questions.
Okay, I see your point. You slanted the truth, but it is the truth after all.
I mean, I agree with you completely. The man went too far. But not so far that we can nail him with anything.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for your advice. I'm sorry that I blew up.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to learn a lesson in yellow journalism here today. Best thing you can do about this is just forget about it. Ignore it.
Yeah.
And as far as blowing up, don't worry about that because, I don't know, I kind of like it. Kind of like the 4th of July right there in my face. It's nice. Like all I was missing was the big band.
So it really is true, huh? Every stinking word of it.
You're a very smart man. Don't tell me you believe everything you read in The Intruder.
Well, you two are looking pretty cozy right here.
Wait, I'm telling you, believe me, I'm not trying to bird dog you here. The Intruder took a very innocent lunch and they turned it into something that it wasn't.
So this story wasn't true?
Nope, not one unreasonable word about it. In fact, I am really glad that I told this woman about the article before she found it out on the newsstand.
Yeah, could save me from embarrassing myself.
No, I think I saved the city of Landview from the wrath of Deborah Medina. Blade, take my advice. Don't get this little girl mad at you.
Could.
That's all right. Look, I'm going to head out to the courtroom. You two have fun, huh?
And bye, Could.
Bye, hon. Deb, that was a joke. Not me.
Blade, honestly, Could and I are just friends.
Well, look, hey, it doesn't really matter to me now anyway, right?
Why? I don't understand.
I'm leaving. I just came by to say goodbye.
Goodbye. We only just met. I mean, we only just got to like each other.
Yeah, like is just about as far as it's ever going to get. Because your mother would stop it before anything else. You know, I guess I'm just not rich enough for her.
No, but I mean, if my mother got to know you, well,
Look, Deborah, I don't have the time to kiss up to your mother. You know, and besides that, it's not just her. It's this whole town. Everyone here, they think I'm useless. You know, I'm an ex-con. I can't get a steady job.
Oh, so you're just going to give up like that?
Me? No way. I'm just going to have to go somewhere else and make it. Maybe I'll come back here a millionaire. $1,000 suit, my limousine, I'll pull up. Maybe then you'll pay a little attention to me.
Oh, Blade, that's unfair. I never said those things were important to me.
No. Hey, look, it's your mother's opinion that's important to you.
Blade, listen. My mother's going through some really tough times now with Gabrielle's trial. But when it's all over, it'll be
When it's all
different.
over, you'll feel just the same way about me, Deborah.
Blade, that's not true. I mean, given time, we could be really good friends.
Deborah, I don't need any more really good friends. That's not what I need now. You know, what I need, Deborah. Look, forget it. You know, who cares about what I need? Nobody, least of all you.
Oh, Blade, please.
No, look, Deborah, you take care of yourself, all right? And look, don't let your mother run your life for you. Learn to make your own mistakes, all right?
One more. Boy, look at this. I think he's got more on my shirt than in his stomach.
I think you look good in bananas. And I like you in peach, honey.
Yeah. It's attractive. I think in the future we're going to have to, remember this, we're going to have to do a lunch first and then take a bath.
Yeah, I think you should have come with instructions. What would it say? Something like, feed before baby.
Yeah, feed before baby. That's right. That's right. I think we're both going to need a shower before we're through, but I don't mind if you don't mind. No, have some of this. Boy, let me get that. Here you go. Come on.
Oh,
come on.
Honey, I knew we were going to have such a good time together. We just needed time together, that's all.
Yeah, isn't this great?
Yeah,
I mean,
great.
Excuse me, I don't want to...
Oh, don't touch me.
You, me, Stephen, and who's ever at the door?
I'll get it.
Oh, thank you. Come on, one more.
Oh. Michael.
I'm sorry to bother you. Can I come in?
Enough of the past, enough of it. Let's move on to the present. Well, at least to the immediate past.
Spare us the chronology, please, Mr. Callison, and just get on with it.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. Mr. Holden, when Brenda McGillis came to you and voiced her suspicions, did you doubt her?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you didn't believe her claim that the defendant had switched the babies in the hospital nursery?
No, not at first.
But you did come to believe her. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Now, didn't it ever occur to you that Brenda McGillis was simply making the whole thing up because of her anguish over the loss of her child? This whole scenario was just a wishful thinking.
Yes, it occurred
Well, that
to me.
changed your mind.
I believed her, okay?
You believed her, okay, fine. In other words, it was conceivable to you that Gabrielle Medina was capable of committing a heinous act such as switching a live baby with a dead one. Why? Now, could it be because after she tried killing your brother, Steve, there was nothing left she could do that would surprise you?
Objection. The prosecution is putting words in the mouth of the witness.
Sustained. You know I hate it when you do that, Mr. Callison.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Just ask the questions and let the witness answer them without any help from you.
Of course. Mr. Holden, Mr. Holden. Where is this love that the defense keeps talking about?
I don't understand.
Oh, you know, the love that drove Gabrielle Medina into this temporary lapse of sanity. I see no evidence of it, not from you, from her. Where is it? And if it exists, what kind of love is it?
I've been trying to explain that for the last half hour.
Well, what you told us is that you don't love her. You never have and you never will.
No, that is not what I said.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. Which means only one thing. This woman is lying. She wasn't out of her mind with love. She knew exactly what she was doing when she switched those babies.
Will you please let me explain?
Well, there's nothing to explain. Gabrielle Medina is a cold-blooded, calculating, dangerous woman capable of doing whatever it takes to get what she wants.
You are judging her and me without all the facts. You don't know anything about her feelings or about mine.
Now, we already know what you feel for her. You abandoned her in Argentina. You refused to marry her when she told you that she was carrying your baby. You don't love her. What more is there to say?
Your Honor, he's badgering the witness again.
Will you please let him just... Let me just finish the sentence, okay?
Your Honor, I am merely reiterating what the witness has already testified.
Gentlemen, please. Mr. Holden, I usually favor a very standard question and answer procedure, but in this case, I'm going to give you the opportunity to say what's on your mind. I don't suppose you have any objection to that, Mr. Counselor? Now, Mr. Holden, how do you feel about the defendant?
Thank you.
Conversation not go too well?
Well, good as can be expected, I guess. I reckon she just needs some time alone.
Right. Anything else at all I can do?
No, you've done more than enough already. I appreciate it. Just keep an eye on things around here and make sure that the court doesn't get all bogged down.
I will, I promise.
Okay. Oh, here's my number at the ranch. Just in case you have to get a hold of me.
Take care of yourself now.
Yes, I'll do that.
I know I'm interrupting, and I know I'm not supposed to...
No, please, come in. I have food on my hands. Come in, come in.
Thanks, Brenda. Hello, Larry. Michael. Brenda, I'm sorry. I've been trying to walk off my anger ever since I left the courthouse. I've been thinking about what you said, about letting go of my hatred for Gabrielle. But I couldn't stay on that. My thoughts kept coming back to Stephen, and I was trying to convince myself that he would still be in my life. That you weren't just trying to pacify me by telling me that I could go on seeing him.
I meant every word that I said.
Well, that's what I kept repeating to myself, telling myself that. But then I found myself on your block, and I couldn't resist the temptation to come by and see him in the flesh and just hold him for a minute to make it real for me. Can I hold him just for a second?
Yes.
Thanks.
What I might have felt or didn't feel for Gabrielle doesn't matter. What matters is that she has changed. Now, she didn't have to give Brenda her baby back. She could have married Michael Grand, ran off to Europe, and Brenda would have never seen her child again, but she didn't do that, no. She did the right thing. And I feel she deserves another chance at life, and that her life should not be wasted away in prison.
It's very forgiving of you. Did you feel that forgiving after she tried to kill your brother?
Your Honor, the counsel's remarks are totally prejudicial. I move for a mistrial.
Motion denied. Please strike the prosecution's last question from the record. I instruct the jury to disregard that last question. I urge you to proceed with care, Mr. Callison. You're on shaky ground here.
Yes, Your Honor. Look, Mr. Holden, I guess what I'm really trying to get at here is that this sudden goodness on the part of the defendant, this desire to do the right thing, didn't this all happen after she was caught? Wait a minute. I mean, wasn't it a ploy? Wasn't it just a way to get you on her side? Look, here is this woman who realizes that the only hope she has to escape prison is to line up her forces and come up with this ridiculous plea of temporary insanity.
Your Honor, the counsel is not questioning the witness. He's playing to the jury.
Sustained. Mr. Callison, if you would like to rest your case and give your summation, I'd be only too happy to oblige. If not, then I suggest you save your grandstanding until then.
You want to help Gabrielle Medina, isn't it true?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Holden, would you tell this court, under oath, did you ever, or do you now love the defendant, Gabrielle Medina? Do you love her?
No.
Have you ever loved her?
No.
No further questions.